Welcome back to Two Peas in a Kitchen. Today we are making something extra delicious. You're gonna love it. These are homemade, home-baked soft pretzels. This is Alton Brown soft pretzel recipe. It's amazing. We love it. And you aren't gonna believe how easy this is. We decided to do this because everybody should make this for the Super Bowl that's coming up, or for any game day. You can do this for like an Oscar award watch party. Yep. I used to like to do those. That's kind of fun.
And don't be intimidated because they're super easy to make.
These are super easy, and they're awesome with any kind of dip. They're really special, and your guests will be very, very excited when you make them. So stay tuned, and we'll show you how to do it.
Okay, so this recipe is actually adapted right from Alton Brown's homemade soft pretzel recipe. We make this all the time. You're going to love it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 1.5 cups of warm water. If you have a kitchen thermometer, try and get the water between 110 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to use our stand mixer for this. So I'm just going to put everything right in this bowl. So we also measured out everything. This is about 347 grams. And this is going to go right into our mixing bowl. And next, I'm going to add some sugar. So we just have a tablespoon of sugar, about 14 grams. We're really getting into measuring everything out or weighing everything out. In that goes. And then next, we have 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, which is also about 14 grams or so. And finally, we have our yeast. Right in here. So it's 1 package of dried yeast. It's about 7 grams. So we measured out exactly 7 grams. Sprinkle it right on top carefully. And I'm just going to use a fork just to mix it lightly. And you're going to let it sit for about 5 minutes or until, or I should say at that time, after about 5 minutes, your yeast should be nice and foamy. Now, keep in mind, always check the expiration date on your yeast. You don't want to use yeast that's expired. Sometimes if it's even close to being expired, we'll actually discard it because it makes a big difference. So check the expiration date before you proceed to make your pretzels.
Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes, and our yeast is nice and frothy in our bowl for our stand mixer here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take, this is about 4.5 cups of flour. I also weighed it out. It's 635 grams. This is organic, just all-purpose flour. You don't need to use bread flour for this recipe. We're going to put that right on top of our bowl here with the yeast. And then I have 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, which I've melted. And I'm going to go ahead and pour that right on top of the flour mixture. I'm just going to really quickly incorporate it for just 1 second. With just a silicone spoon here. And then this is actually going to go into our stand mixer with the dough hook, which is right behind me here. I'm going to grab that. It's going to go in the stand mixer with the dough hook, and we're going to turn that on, let it incorporate on a low speed, then turn it up to a medium speed, and we're going to let it knead in the stand mixer for approximately 4 to 5 minutes until the dough is pulling away from the sides of the bowl. And after we get that done, we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I have the stand mixer all set up here, and I'm using my dough hook on the stand mixer like we just discussed. I'm going to pull my bowl up. I'm going to start this on a very low speed. And it's just going to start to incorporate all of the ingredients together. One reason for this is we don't want the flour to go flying all over the kitchen. I know one question that people are going to have is, what if I don't have a stand mixer? I guess I can't make this recipe. You definitely can make this recipe without a trusty stand mixer. All you have to do is use a big fork and get all of the ingredients very well incorporated in the bowl with your fork, and then dump it out on a clean counter or on a pastry board, and you can knead it by hand for 4 or 5 minutes and it'll do the exact same thing. So we're going to let that go for 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, so we've been doing this for about 4 minutes here, kneading it in our stand mixer. You can see we have a very well-formed ball of dough here. All of the dough is off of the sides of the bowl. It's not sticking anymore. We are ready to turn this off. We're all done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab a big bowl, and we're gonna get ready to proof this in the oven proofer. We have a proof setting on our oven. If you don't have that, you can go ahead and just put it in a nice warm pantry or a warmer counter in your house. We're gonna put it into a separate bowl to proof it. You can also just pop it out of your bowl. We like to put a little bit of oil into the bowl. I've just washed my hands, so I'm just gonna use my hands to kind of get all around the edges of the bowl. You can use a paper towel or whatever. It's easiest for you, but this will just make the dough not stick to the edges. That's just avocado oil that I'm using. So I'm going to take the dough here that we've just kneaded. Oh, it feels perfect. And we're going to go ahead and just plop that right in this bowl. I'm going to cover it with a dish towel, and we're going to put it into the proof setting on our oven. You can just go ahead and stick it in any warm corner of your house, and we're going to let it proof for about 50 minutes.
Okay, so now our dough is ready. You could see it's risen, and it feels really good. It's not sticky at all. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to overturn it here, and it came out easily because we oiled the bowl. And now I'm going to divide this with our bench scraper here into 8 equal pieces, and I'll show you how to form the actual pretzels. Okay, so I already formed one pretzel, and I'll show you exactly how to make this. It's very simple. So I divided everything into 8 equal pieces. You don't have to weigh anything out. I just kind of eyeballed it. And the important thing to remember is do not flour your surface, because you want your dough to actually slightly not stick to the surface, but you want a little bit of resistance. So I'm just going to gently roll. I'm starting in the middle here, and then gently roll out to the edges. And you'll want the cylinder to be approximately 24 inches wide, which is actually the width of this pastry board here. So I'm just going to keep rolling it, and keep in mind, you want to have it as even as you can. Okay, so at this point, you'll want to go ahead and preheat your oven to 450 degrees. And this is how we're going to shape the pretzel. So make a U shape like this, a U facing yourself like that. And then I like to cross it over once. And then you're going to twist it one more time. And then you'll just simply bring it down. And then you get a nice little pretzel shape. And then I'm just going to press this a little bit, and there's your pretzel.
So while Rafi is going ahead and making the rest of our pretzel shapes, I have put 10 cups of water into this 8-quart pot here, and I've added 2/3 of a cup of baking soda. The reason that we put baking soda into this water, which I'm turned on here, I'm going to bring this to a rapid boil, is that is what makes the pretzels have the dark color on the outside after they go into this bath with the baking soda and the boiling water. So you want to go ahead and get that boiling while you are making your shapes. Now that I got the baking soda and water boiling, I got these sheet pans ready here while Rafi's hard at work over here making our pretzel shapes. I just put a little bit of unbleached parchment paper right here. I brushed a little bit of avocado oil on there because we don't want these pretzels to stick, because we're going to be working with the dough a lot in and out of that baking soda bath. And I have 2 of those prepared so that our pretzels will have plenty of space to breathe through the next couple steps of this process. Okay, we have these gorgeous shapes here that our resident expert pretzel shaper has made. And we're going to put them into this tool here, which is just a little slotted giant spoon, and it's going right into this baking soda bath. You can see I have it boiling, and we're going to let each one of these sit in there for about 30 seconds. Make sure it gets touched all over there. And then you're just going to take it out and let the water kind of fall off the pretzel, and then we're just going to put it right back on our parchment paper. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that with the remaining 6 of our pretzels, and then we'll show you the next step. Okay, so all of our pretzels have had their nice toasty bath in the baking soda boiling water mixture, and now we've got 1 egg yolk, which I mixed with 1 tablespoon of water, and we're going to give each of these beautiful baking soda washed pretzels a generous egg wash here with our egg yolk mixture. And we've decided that we are going to make half savory salt pretzels and the other half we're going to do a sweet cinnamon sugar. So we looked, sometimes we can find pretzel salt and sometimes we can't, the real round ones. This is just kosher salt, which works totally fine. You don't need to kill yourself trying to find an ingredient that's hard to find. So we like them relatively salty, so you can be generous with your salt. And you want it to look pretty, so you just kind of scatter that all around. So that's one salt one. And then the other side here, we're going to do the same thing. Just a generous egg wash. We have just, I've just mixed, I just estimated what I like. This is personal preference. It's just cane sugar with some cinnamon in it. And I'm just going to very generously cover the top of this pretzel with that cinnamon sugar mixture. And I'm going to finish doing that with the rest of our pretzels. And then we have our oven preheated to 450 degrees. And these are going to bake for about 12 minutes or until they're golden brown. Okay, so these were in the 450 degree oven for about 12 minutes. They're perfect. They smell amazing. So we're just getting them onto this wire rack so that they can cool. They need to cool for about 5 to 10 minutes before you eat them. We have just put the cinnamon sugar ones in, and as soon as they're all done and cooled, we'll be back to give them a taste. Okay, our pretzels have
favorite
cooled.
part.
This is our best part of every video. We are ready to taste these. So we have a little spinach and artichoke dip that we made here that's still warm from the oven because we needed to dip them in something to try them, right? And so we'll start with one of our beautiful, look how gorgeous these are. We're going to start with one of our beautiful salted ones. I'll break a piece off. We'll break this and share it together.
Wow.
I'm going to dip it in a little bit of this dip and taste it.
Oh my gosh. How is it?
These are amazing. Seriously, these are so good.
Oh my God.
So
the texture is amazing. This is one of those things where when you eat it, you don't believe that you actually made it.
And they look so professional, and you saw how easy these are. They really are so easy. Again, this is Alton Brown's recipe. We love Alton Brown, but this is one of his best. And people will not believe that you made these, really.
And the bottom.
It's
they got nice and brown,
crunchy, and they're kind of fluffy inside.
Oh my God.
And obviously these are great in beer cheese. You can find an easy beer cheese dip. Maybe we'll do a quick short video on a beer cheese when we get a little closer to the Super Bowl or whatever. So I'm going to put this down because we're also going to taste one of our cinnamon sugar. So our cinnamon sugar pretzels turned out like this.
They did brown a little bit more. It's not burned, but it's just the sugar caramelizing.
It's just the sugar and the cinnamon. So we're going to go ahead here. We'll take a little piece of this one right here. We'll each take a little.
Don't dip it in the artichoke.
So these are delicious too. And frankly, friends, you can top these with anything.
Oh my gosh.
These would be delicious with
the everything seasoning.
Everything but the bagel seasoning. They would be delicious with a garlic salt. You can think of any million ways to top these. This is a great appetizer. It's a great way to feed your friends, and people will be very impressed. So try it out.
Comment below if you try them.
For sure.
If you come up with any creative toppings, let us know.
Yeah, let us know, because we're definitely going to be making these a bunch this winter. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoy this as much as we do. Bye-bye.